Welcome, dear listeners, to today's truly transformative episode where we dive deep into the vast ocean of energy healing. Picture this: the gentle rhythm of your breath aligning with the beat of your spirit, peeling back the layers of your consciousness to reveal the incredible power that lies within you. Today, we are experiencing an intentional breath work coupled with energy healing can awaken the innate strength and profound depth that each of us holds. It's time to discover how to breathe life into your spirit and unearth the treasures hidden within your soul. Welcome to High Blood Pressure Wellness Lifestyle Podcasts, where your journey toward a healthier, more vibrant life takes center stage. I am Donna Williams, your host and guide, certified holistic health coach and passionate advocate for transforming lives through mindful and practical approaches to health. At my digital home, info on highbloodpressure.com, and through this podcast, I am deeply committed to serving an extraordinary community with a special focus on uplifting women of color. We're here to cut through the confusion surrounding chronic disease management, starting with high blood pressure, to provide clarity and actionable insights. So let's connect and explore how holistic health coaching can enrich your life. Today, I have a very special guest. Her name is Jen Fedorowicz. So please join me as we unlock the secret to sustainable health, one powerful step at a time. But first, let me tell you why and how much I admire Jen. She is a spiritual coach, an energy healer. Her work is about removing emotional interference from the subconscious. She was an elementary teacher for 15 years. Can you imagine that? Before becoming a yoga instructor and ultimately opening a yoga studio. Her interest in energy led her to train in Reiki, and after discovering the energy codes, her life truly changed. Her years of feeling insecure, self-conscious, and unworthy melted away as she awakened to the magnificence within herself and her connection to all things. When subconscious blocks are removed, it allows your energy to flow in an aligned way, helping you to become the magnificent being you were meant to be. So today, Jen will be guiding you and I on how to unlock your inner power through energy healing, breathe life into your spirit, and awaken your deepest layers of consciousness. Welcome, Jen, and thank you so much for being our guest today.
Thank you, Donna, for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Me too. So, can you give us a general understanding of energy healing? What inspired you to become an energy healer? And please share a bit about your journey with us, especially for our listeners who might be new to this. And how would you define energy healing?
Sure. I could spend the whole hour on that, but I'll condense it. For me personally, I really started to become interested in energy when I went into my yoga teacher training. So part of my yoga teacher training involved some Reiki. One of my instructors was a Reiki master. And so she performed Reiki on us as we were learning our yoga. And during that time, I'll admit, I was a skeptic. She talked about these energy centers that ran through the body and how they really ran your life, and that she could manipulate and open and shift the energy within you. And part of me was a bit skeptical and thought, okay, we'll see, right? And then one day she had me lie on my yoga mat and she came over me with her hands and started just sort of testing to see what she could feel. And she told me that my second chakra was closed. And so if your listeners don't know what a chakra is, it's a wheel of energy. We have these wheels of spinning energy moving through us. And as she held her hands over my second chakra, I burst into tears. And at the same time, it was as if a bucket of purple paint had been poured into my brain. And I was really kind of like, whoa, I was overtaken. throughout the rest of that day, it was an all-day Saturday in our training. She continued to teach and explain, and I just came home with so much enthusiasm. I said to my husband, I have to start studying energy. I haven't even finished my yoga teacher training, but I have to start studying energy. So fast forward, I became a Reiki master. I trained in Reiki, became a Reiki master, and then went a step further when I was introduced to the energy codes and Dr. Sue Morter. And so it's my training and certifications through her that opened my eyes even more to this idea of energy healing. So the way I see energy healing is every single one of us is made of energy. The entire universe we live in is energetic, and it's all photons of energy condensed into the physical matter that we experience. But even our physical matter is constantly moving, right? We know this. Quantum science has shown that energy is constantly moving.
Yes.
So you, as a field of energy, you are meant to be, your field is meant to be constantly flowing and moving. Your energy field controls your nervous system.
Wow.
Okay. And your nervous system controls your body.
Yes.
So our Western medicine treats our diseases, or the things that we think are wrong with our body, treats from the outside in, right? Medications, and energy medicine treats from the inside out, because we align and perfect the energy that is affecting the nervous system and then the physical body.
Wow. So that is how the different molecules, how they differ from one another, where the energy healing goes, correct?
Well, yes. So the energy healing gets to the root cause, right? So when we don't have to even think about or deal with a diagnosis, people often come to me with a diagnosis, and I will certainly listen to them and what they have to say. But energy healing doesn't deal with a diagnosis, because when your energy is aligned and perfected, healing happens.
Okay. So it mostly deals with the level of consciousness then.
Yes. And I'd like to say this, because I think this is important for anybody that ever goes to an energy healer.
Okay.
I don't heal anybody. We're born with the ability to heal from the inside out.
Yes. Yes. God has blessed us with that. Yes.
Every one of us is a divine being of light and love and flowing energy. And when we know that about ourselves, and we learn some techniques, or we go to an energy healer to, what I like to say, to flip the switch, right? I just turn on your ability to heal from the inside out. I am not doing the healing.
So does it also work on psychological levels? And are there science principles that support it? And how about the life force energy, how it flows through the body? Explain that concept, and what are the most common misconception and about energy healing that you have encountered?
Okay, absolutely. And there's lots of science behind it. I do have to say that, Donna. It's why I love this. It's like science and spirituality have become married. And that is what, we used to have, religion and science separate. And really, we realized they're one and the same, because we are, the life force is the divine spirit that's flowing through each one of us, right? Oh. We are made of life force, and the same life force that flows through me flows through you.
Yes, yes, yes.
And that life force flows on your breath. So it's bombarding us and coming in from all directions, but it's also moving on the breath. The word inspiration, inspire, the root of that is God in the body. Inspire. So we're all inspired. We're all
we're breathing it in, and so we're creating life then. And is it happening? It isn't just happening to us. Our breath creates it.
It's happening through us. Okay. We are, so here's a great analogy. I think this helps me. If you think of, you could call it the universe, or you could call it God, or you could call it the unified field. There are lots of names for this, what everything is made of, this energy that everything is made of. But you could picture it like a fabric. This fabric encompasses everything, the trees, the ocean, everything, even the solid matter, and you and me. And we're each like our own individual fold in the fabric, but it's the same fabric that
Yes.
we are made of.
We're all connected in some way or the other.
Yes.
Oh,
Or also, I've heard it's, the ocean. You can think of the ocean as that
yes.
consciousness is the ocean, and you are a wave coming in, and I am a wave. But when we retreat back, we go right back into our source, which is the ocean or the divine energy.
So, are there any specific ways you can teach us to connect to our master inner healing? And can you share some simple energy healing techniques that our listeners can practice at home? And how important is the role of breath work in doing the healing techniques that you can demonstrate breathing exercises for us? I know some of us, uh, we want to be able to choose an energy healer. So if you can give us a little guideline, what to look for, that would be more beneficial to us in specific credentials and qualities that are important.
Sure. So, it's a little bit tricky, I think, with that question, only because anybody can call themselves an energy healer, but everybody is an energy healer, right?
So I mean to take on a client and to practice the actual energy healing. Is
Yeah.
there certain steps or way to get started? I mean, how do you know what area to touch? How to bring someone down and connect?
So the energy healing that I am trained in is, as you mentioned in the beginning, is about removing unresolved emotion. And so I work remotely with people and in person because it's all energy. If you go back to this giant fabric that we're all connected to, I can tune into that fabric and I can connect to your energy from, I'm in Virginia and I've worked on people in New Zealand. And so I can feel and connect to their energy. And that's part of my training to be able to do that. And then there are vibrations or frequencies that I can read, would be the best way to say it. I can feel them and find a certain emotion and multiple emotions because we hold everything we've ever experienced in our body. So the traumas or just the experiences of childhood that we held on to that we didn't fully metabolize and work through gets held in our system.
Mm-hmm.
And so it almost like an onion. Some people refer to, we're like layers of an onion, but I like to say we're more like an artichoke because if you peel the layers of the artichoke, at the center is the heart.
Right. And that's where we get to resolve our issues and our past.
Exactly. So when I work with somebody, I'm looking for I would have them think of different times in their past or experiences they've had. And I could find an energetic vibration of an emotion that is in them, that their subconscious mind is still sort of wrestling with or spending energy on. And as we relieve or release that emotion from their system, from their energy system, you can think of it as, it's like a cog in the wheel. As you pull that out, now things are more aligned and they flow better. And then you pull out another unresolved emotion and things become even more aligned. And so now this energy is flowing more effectively and efficiently. And a natural byproduct of that is healing.
So how can someone try to heal themselves or start the work?
Yes.
Start the work for you to complete.
Yes. So you mentioned the breath, and the bottom line is it's all about the breath because breath moving through the body is life force.
Yes.
Right. Or source. And every time you take a conscious breath, you resource your body.
Mm-hmm.
A resource. We're made of that source and we keep resourcing and resourcing. And as we resource our body, it becomes stronger. We become younger. We feel better. That's a natural byproduct of resourcing the body. So let's talk about how we can do that.
Before
Energy.
before you do that, you're saying we're taking in the breath source. Is that the life source?
Mhm.
That's the life source that the universe provides us, and we're taking it into resolve
Yes.
issues. Okay, go ahead.
And so you can think about it this way, Donna. When we leave our body and transition, we take our last breath. Our breath leaves the body, right?
Correct.
That breath is who we are. It is the infinite divine being that we are. The breath never ends. It continues as the infinite being that you are. It's just done with the time that it was in this body.
This vessel, move on to another vessel or something else.
Yes.
Okay, that's amazing. That is like you're living forever then?
Absolutely.
Life force?
You are infinite. You have always been and you always will be. And science has proven that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only change form.
My gosh. So I know this is a very difficult question, but do you know who you are? Are you the same person? Are you the same name? Do you have the same family?
So, we could go down a rabbit hole with this. I love
I know. But
conversation.
it popped into my head. Oh, will I know my family? Will I see my parents?
So I believe, because I haven't, I don't remember, but I believe that each one, well, yes, you will see your parents when you go back to the other side. I believe that 100%. My father passed in 2020 and he and I have conversations now. I know he's there and it's all as well.
To be honest, I have family members who have passed, and there are occasions when I dream them and they're there in my dream. And so, I always say to myself, oh, I had a visitor I would say, oh, so-and-so visited me last night. It's like they come and make a connection.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And when you think of them, if you're going throughout the day, I have a picture of my dad in a funny party hat on my dresser upstairs. And when I go by and look at him and I'll say, hi, Dad, I know when I think of him, where he is, he knows I've thought of him. And so there's an immediate connection. You can start to do that. You can start to think of those loved ones and you might notice synchronicities, feathers, or I often find.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
But I have even looked at the picture and I'm telling you the truth. I could have sworn she smiled back to me.
No doubt. It's possible because it's all energy. 100%.
But I'm so happy I just move on. But now that you're saying it, I'm saying, it's great. It's a great thought. So we skipped over the steps and exercise that an individual can do by themselves.
Yes. So let's just, I want you to understand this. I want your listeners to understand this. And you've probably heard this, but I think it's so important. Energy follows thought. Okay. So we are made of photons of light. Everything in our universe is photons of light that are compressed, and your physical body is a compression of photons of light, tiny subatomic particles, right? So, and they're energy. They buzz, they move, they are energy. Energy follows thought. So in this world we live in, dealing with stress and all that we deal with in life, our brain and our mind, our thought tends to be outside of our body most of the time, right? The worries, the dreams, the just whatever. Life pulls us outside of our body with our thoughts.
Yes.
We become very powerful when we train the mind to come back inside the body, because now all these photons of light that have sort of been scattered and dispersed, they gather inside of us and we become more powerful.
Yes, we become one.
Yes. So that is the power of meditation, of sitting and drawing the mind back in, because not only when you bring the mind into the body do you feel calm and at ease, but you're activating that energy within your physical body. It starts to become more alive because the mind is aware of it. Because
go ahead, please.
The mind is also a magnifier. Okay, the mind, whatever the mind focuses on, it magnifies.
Yes, whatever you focus on. But to gain that strength, I mean, a lot of people cannot, it's hard for them to meditate. So if you can slow the mind, say for a minute, is that even good enough to get started?
Yes, I tell people I'd rather have you slow the mind for a minute 10 times a day, then sit for 10 minutes, because then you're carrying it into your day. So maybe you set a alarm on your phone, the timer on your phone for a minute, you sit, and here's how to start is with deep belly breaths. So in our breath, when we're breathing in the
Can
upper,
we do it together as a demonstration?
yeah, we absolutely will. I want to explain this. The upper lobes of your lungs are filled with nerve endings for fight or flight. When you're stressed and overwhelmed, you're shallow breathing.
Yes.
So when you start to breathe in the belly, it shifts the nervous system. It switches that or flips that switch that
Yes.
tells the nervous system it's safe to relax, which right away affects your blood pressure.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes. Mhm.
So I like to say, rest your hands down on your belly, or at least one hand on your belly. And
Okay.
we live in a culture where we're always trying to suck our belly in, you know, and so this is not a time for that. You got to love that part of your body and let it fill.
Vanity. Okay. It's vanity. It's all vanity.
It is. It is. So we want to breathe that big, big belly. Okay. And sometimes it takes a little effort. So you might start slowly. You want to breathe in through your nose. And you want to, I think of it like a glass of water, and you're pouring the water from a pitcher into the glass, and it fills from the bottom up. When you breathe in the belly, you begin to fill your lungs from the bottom up. So the diaphragm lowers so that the lungs can fill, which is why it's called diaphragmatic breathing, right? And so few of us are truly breathing fully, using the full capacity of the lungs on a regular basis. So just sort of relax your shoulders, relax your face, feel the belly so that as you breathe in, you can feel the expansiveness. And of course, you also want to feel the expansiveness, if you can, around your whole body. So at first it might feel like you're pushing out your belly, but your ribs are going to start to expand, and you're going to feel that a little bit in the low back. And it feels good.
I feel tingling.
Mm-hmm.
A little tingling around my body, my arms, everything, and also on the outside of my skin
Mm-hmm.
as you pull in and out.
Yeah,
It's amazing what it does to the body.
it is.
And I guess the mind is even more important, because then we're able to think for a minute, you know?
So I call it dropping in or coming home, right? Think of an anchor, you know, like I have a son who's a fisherman, so I always think about an anchor, but you drop the anchor, right? Well, we're anchoring our awareness, or we're anchoring our consciousness deep in the body, connecting to the breath. We become tethered or anchored to the breath.
Yes, yes. Have you experienced any major healing have impacted your life on a personal level? And what advice would you give to someone who is skeptical about energy healing, but curious to learn more?
I have experienced lots of healing in my world and in my life. I don't go to the doctor. Yeah, I know some, and I don't always like to tell people that, because my friends, of course, will get on me. But
I'm not judging you. I'm not judging. I've read someone before who didn't, and but she had issues, and when something serious happened to her, she knew. So that is why, for me, and this is my opinion, we should all go for personal checkups.
yes,
So you're
yeah.
not saying they're not supposed to go to the doctor.
Well, I would never tell somebody not to go
Right.
to the
It's just that, just for clarity, it's
yes.
just you don't go to the doctor probably on a regular basis or whatever, because of the work you do on your body. You're certified enough to know when it's off a millimeter, probably.
Yes. And when, let me say, I still get sick. Okay. So, because I believe the underlying of all sickness is the energy is not aligned. There's unresolved emotion that gets in the way. And so I get treated regularly from someone who does the work I do. I have a weekly energy treatment. But for myself, if I feel myself becoming sick, I start getting my energy moving. And I could teach this to your listeners, and it's
Yes,
pretty
please.
easy. So
Are you saying also, just for clarity, energy, some people might know it as frequency or the vibes within your body, you feel in this uplifting way, correct?
absolutely, yes. Like
Yeah.
a raise in your vibration,
Yes, yes.
right?
Mhm.
And so if you think about when you're depressed or sad, there's a compression of your energy field,
Yes, yes,
right? And so when your energy field is compressed, it's not moving as it could be moving.
right.
So we are each, and this is quantum science as well, we are each a toric field of energy. So it's flowing through like a stream, a conscious stream flows through the body. It lands. We actually energetically land in the earth. I'm going to teach you how to breathe and connect to this. We rise back up, and then the energy fountains around us. Some people might call it your aura, but it's a toric field, or you can look it up. There's a picture of it if you Google toric field or the Taurus man.
Is it spelled Toric?
Yes,
Just for listeners, a toric what?
field.
Field for them to do a little research on it.
Yes.
And it's not really like the third eye or any of the chakra. It is just this energy field that surrounds our body, our aura.
And yes, and you did hit the nail on the head. It goes right through the center of your being and affects the anchoring point of every chakra.
Good. Okay.
Right. So it runs through the third eye, through the throat, through the heart, the belly, the root,
Okay. Good.
drops in the earth, comes right back up through that central channel. In yoga, it's called the Sushumna. Okay. And then it fountains around us. Okay. So that is happening all the time. This toric field is moving, but it gets wobbly or it gets stuck. And anything in the body, let's say pain, let's say you were to wake up tomorrow and your shoulder hurt, you know that there's stuck energy. If the energy is not flowing, it sort of backs up like a dam in a river. Get rocks in there and then the water backs up. Well, if the energy backs up, if there's too much, or if there's a deficiency of energy and it's not flowing, then that's when the tissues are affected because the energy is not flowing.
And we experience pain.
We experience pain. So for me, sometimes I get a pain in one hip sometimes. And so I immediately start breathing, and I'm going to teach you this. It's called central channel breathing. It's something I learned in the energy codes. So if you can sort of visualize this channel or Sushumna that runs through you, and just imagine you're going to make it up, and imagine you're taking a breath in through the top of your head, and you're going to inhale down right through the third eye, through the throat, through the heart. You're going to inhale a slow, deep belly breath. And when you exhale the breath, just imagine you drop it down through your tailbone, through the chair, and you land it in the earth. And then imagine that the next breath you take comes from the earth and you draw it right up that channel through the tailbone. Your belly expands and softens. And when you exhale, you send that breath back up the channel. Imagine that you exhale it up and out the top of your head. You might even feel it fountaining around you. Eventually, over time, you will. And then you would just take another breath, and that breath through the channel and starts moving this field of energy activates your ability to heal.
Question I have for you. What if you start part of meditation or whatever you might want to call it, where you start pulling the energy from the earth through your body, up through your body. Sorry, I have allergies, so my throat scratches. You pull the energy from your feet up through your body, going in through all your limbs, your organs, flowing up to your head. And you meet like an oil, anointing oil coming down, changing, glowing, filling your body down. Does that also work?
Yes.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. What's most important, that's a great question, because what's most important is that your mind, your body, and your breath are becoming one.
Okay.
Okay. It's the synchronization of those three things becoming one that starts to activate your true power. Right. We are much more
So
powerful.
I didn't start from the top.
You can start from the top. You can start from the earth. Yeah. I like to say you can't get it wrong.
I love that.
Yes, because you really can't. If you were to sit and consciously breathe and move your mind through your body, you're doing really good things. You're turning on that inner ability. And the other thing you're doing is because your mind wants to run the show, right? We have we have these minds that think they know it all and all our problems. And actually, I believe we're not here for our mind to run the show. I believe we're here to awaken to the fact that we are divine and we are spirit being that has so much love and light and power to lead our life if we could just peel the mind out of the way. So that's the first
You
step.
have to learn to control it, to say who is in charge. But it's so sneaky. It takes over. And you have to catch it back and say, no, 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 I'm in charge.
Yes. Yes. My teacher says when your mind is running the show, it's like you're driving a car sitting on the roof.
I love that.
And
You
if
have
you,
no control. You're out of control.
exactly. But if you would get back in here and let the real you get in the driver's seat, you would see everything shift and change and
It
amazing.
would be measure. We would be in charge of our lives. So let me ask you, how do you see the practice of energy healing evolving in the next few years? And are there any new trends or emerging practices within the field of energy healing that you find exciting?
Yes, so I do believe that we are moving into an era where people are, it's going to be more and more mainstream. I already am finding more and more people are
We're so aware now. Yes.
medical system. They want to try something new. And so, yes, I think I think, someday we'll have an energy healer on every corner instead of a CVS. That would be.
You think then, and we will be saving money? I think not. But as you say, there'll be energy healing on every corner. I can't see that happening in my foreseeable future, but for now.
For now, yeah. That would be my ultimate dream, right? To see that happen.
Yeah. But it would be a great dream, wouldn't it?
Yes. We are right now living in a time of awakening, right? We can call time on our planet the time of awakening. And what that means is each one of us is individually awakening to the fact that we are more than just this body. You asked me a question earlier that made me think about this. We think we're separate. We think I used to think this. Here I am in this third dimensional body. I'm separate from everybody else. I'm separate from you. I'm separate from my dreams. I'm separate from the God that I was taught as a child is out there somewhere and maybe will respond to me. And that's the idea of being separate, right? But we're awakening to the fact that, oh no, we're not separate. You are a reflection of me. We are both a stream of divine consciousness, of pure, loving God energy flowing through a body. And that's what it means to awaken, to know, whoa, there's so much more to me than just this personality and this mind that's trying to get through life, right? We're not even here to get through it. We're here to enjoy it.
Right. And that divine being, our voice, is always speaking to us. But sometimes it's so hard for us to hear.
Yes.
Because we're so busy with our life and our mind. And as you said, the mind is in total control. But please give us your closing thoughts with one key takeaway you would like our listeners to remember about energy healing. And can you recommend any resources such as books, website, courses for those who want to delve deeper into energy healing? And also, you have to give us your contact information. I am sure some of my listeners can't wait to get a hold of you. They have lots to ask you and talk to you about.
Great. Yeah, I would love that. I offer actually on my website, I offer a free consult so we can
What's the name of your website?
is I am Jenergy, JENERGY.com.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll sit on Zoom for 30 minutes and talk with anybody about energy healing and how it can benefit them and how I can serve them in some way. If anyone that's interested in scheduling that, it's available.
Do you have a lead magnet that you could offer? So I would put the link on my webpage so they could contact you and even learn more.
Yes, absolutely. I do. I have a chakra chart that I created. So I teach the 12 chakra system, which is beyond the body, but my chart goes 1 through 7.
I only know of 8. Oh my God, I need to get the other 4.
Yeah.
I only know of 8.
Yeah. So I work with 12 and part of my work goes.
Please, you have to tell us where the others are. Give us an
Okay.
idea.
Okay. So, because part of my work is spiritual integration. So we didn't really get into this, but as we peel the layers of this third dimensional gunk that's keeping us from being who we are, we can more spiritually integrate these higher parts of ourselves. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So chakra 12 is like the divine egg. It's the pure God stuff that you're made of. And it becomes chakra 11, which is it's inspiration. It's the feeling of that. You felt that buzzing. You were tuning into chakra 11. Okay. It's the creative essence. So, we're here to create our life, not just let it happen to us.
Yes.
And so that's 11. 10, when we breathed and I had you land in the earth, 10 is in the earth. Part of you is in the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And it holds your destiny, who you are becoming.
And we're always becoming.
Always, yes, and forever we'll be becoming, actually, not even until we transition. We're constantly becoming.
Right.
Then 10 rises up. When we rise up through the body, 9 is actually 4 feet above our head. It's the chakra of your soul's purpose. And beneath that, just about 2 feet above your head, is chakra 8, which is the energy of your life's purpose.
Okay. Okay.
So we didn't get a lot into today, Donna, because it's a long conversation, the levels of consciousness. But when I say that, those are levels of your consciousness.
Right, right, right.
So when I work with somebody energetically, I ask their system what the priority is. Are we going to spiritually integrate chakra 9, or are we going to peel emotion from when you were 4? And your system tells me in the energy healing I've been trained in, it guides me to what is the priority for this person that I'm working with at that time.
Oh, okay. That's amazing. Just by connecting like that, just by speaking to them.
Yep.
That is amazing.
And
Well,
so,
sorry.
so that leads me.
Do you have any more thoughts? Please go ahead.
I just was going to say that leads me to the question about my lead magnet. It is chakras 1 through 7 and how they relate to your physicality, as far as, for instance, headaches are related to your root chakra, or skin issues are related to your heart chakra. There's different issues that are related to your levels of consciousness, that as those areas or chakras awaken and the energy starts flowing through them the way it's meant to, that's part of what leads to the healing. Because of
a special story that can connect us of someone that was impacted so much by, if you are able to speak about it, that is energy healing. Did it help really heal them of something?
Yeah, I think my favorite story is a nurse that came to see me. It's been a few years and I've now worked with her coaching. She came to see me because she had uterine cancer. And she's very holistic and natural. She raises bees and just is very interested, in this conversation. And she didn't want to go the route of Western medicine. And so I started working with her. And it was a short time. I felt like it was a very short time. It felt miraculous even to me as someone who does this work, that she came back to me and said, Jen, they really wanted to do surgery, but they retested and my cancer is gone. And the doctors said they don't understand it, so they think they must have misdiagnosed me.
I think it's the life force of God.
It is the life force of God. And here's the key, Donna, and this would be my take that I would love your listeners to hold on to. She healed because she believed that she was worthy of healing. She believed that she was the life force of God flowing through a body, and that she would heal as a result of that. Because I can tell you from the stories I have that are more frustrating or that take longer, or even some people that don't heal, the bottom line is we don't think we're worthy.
They don't believe.
Mm-hmm.
They don't believe it's possible for them or it can happen. Wow, that's a great, because not many people get that cure.
Yeah.
So that by itself is amazing.
Yes. And she's thriving today. I told you I had that intention group before I came on this morning, and she's in that, and she's thriving today.
Oh, yes, after recovering from something like that, because that's like a death sentence.
Yes.
And to know you are so powerful enough
Yes.
to heal yourself.
Mm-hmm.
She became our own healer.
Yes.
Think about it.
Exactly. And she believed, like you said, she believed and she trusted. You know, Wayne Dyer, the spiritual leader.
I love that man.
Me too.
I adore him. I have his books, lots of stuff. He taught me a lot about subconsciousness. Well, please go ahead.
I often feel like he's with me. I feel very close to him, but he wrote a book that called "You Have to Believe It to See It."
Okay.
When I was raised, I even think there was a TV show called "You Have to See It to Believe It."
Yes, I think I heard something like that.
Right? We need to flip that around. If you have to wait to see it to believe it, it'll never happen, because it is your belief in it that causes you to
that brings it forward out from the unseen.
Yes.
You magnetize it in that way to bring it forward.
Exactly. So when it comes to healing, if you believe in your healing, you're going to heal because you are already there. You already believe that it's possible for you, then it has to happen.
Yes. And if it doesn't happen, I would say God has a different story or an ending for you. It's a purpose, because he is the life source.
I believe that each one of us comes with a knowing already, a soul knowing of we're going to be here. There are certain things we want to do to expand and experience this life.
Yeah.
When that is complete for the soul, not for the personality, when that is complete for the soul will transition. I believe that's why some children decide to leave. I believe their soul came for a certain experience and then they transitioned, because in our culture, in our world, in all cultures, maybe not all, but in many, we see death as a bad thing. And when in fact,
more scary thing.
yes, when in fact we're infinite. We're infinite beings of love and light. We're just trying out this dimension of the earth for a little while. Let's come down and live in a body and see what that's like for a little while. And then certainly I do think, as human beings, it is very hard and difficult to lose someone that we love.
Yes.
But for the loved one that transitioned, I think it's glorious.
Wow. Jen, I enjoy our conversation today so much. I don't want it to end. This is so amazing, and I want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking us on this journey into the world of energy. It's fascinating to realize that at our core, everything is energy. Our thoughts, our emotion, and even the way we connect with the world and each other. Chakras as layers of consciousness gives us a roadmap, I think, to navigate this energy within us and how we feel, our vibrancy or frequency, whatever it might be that's flowing in alignment. And then by bringing awareness and balance to these layers, we can truly align with our highest self. And I'm sure our listeners will feel inspired to explore this deeper. And thanks again for such a transformative discussion. Will you come back again?
I would love to come back again. Thank you for having me. It is truly my favorite conversation to have. So
Me
thank
too. I've learned so much, and I already feel when you return, I learned so much more.
you. Well, great. I can't wait.
So that brings us to the end of this episode. So I want to thank you all for joining us today on unlocking your inner power through energy healing. Breathe life into your spirit and awaken your deepest layer of consciousness. So stay tuned for more insightful discussion within the High Blood Pressure Wellness Lifestyle Podcast community. Until then, take care and stay healthy. And oh, if you found this episode helpful, please share it with others who might benefit. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more valuable information on managing your health. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, feel free to reach out and let's continue this journey towards better health and well-being together. And remember, in our transcript, you will find the links to Jen and to other special information. So bye for now, and thank you again for being here.